I was like, oh, I don't have time for this. Nobody wants to hear anything. In Maryland, I didn't know anything about eXp at all. I was like, But I listened. I attended a live Zoom. I got some information. I ran some numbers and just, not at that point, but later on, it became a moment where I knew that I may not stay at the old brokerage and I may need to do something different.
So talk about life before eXp, what brokerage were you with and what did that look like, and perhaps what were some of the challenges that you were facing there?
Okay. So I was at Coldwell Banker, and I was actually a broker manager in the Baltimore City area. And I managed 83 agents, or I partnered up with 83 agents. That's key in the world of real estate and brokering. I partnered up with 83 agents. And when I first went to that office, there were 24 agents and maybe 8 agents were active. So I had to rebrand, restart, regrow that office and change the dynamic in the office. And I was able to do that in under 3 years and really over 2 years by recruiting. So simply recruiting, getting some new blood in there, getting some new people in there, making change to the office, changing the dynamic of that office and changing the way that things were done within that office and make it exciting and fun again. So I was a non-competing manager. So basically, I came out of production. At first, I was an agent at Coldwell Banker and in a different office, and they had a need for a manager in their city office. And I was from Baltimore City, born and raised all my life. And so they approached me and offered me the position. After a while, I did take the position and I loved it. I loved running an office. I loved running a business. I loved partnering with agents. But I outgrew that position almost. I outgrew the office. In that office, it was a small office, Baltimore City, downtown. It did not fit 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 agents, but I was still tasked with bringing in more. So I got stuck at some point in time. And then COVID-19 hit and I had time to think. And I had to change something. I had to make a change. And during COVID-19, Rich Tomasini, he was a guest on your podcast, by the way.
And he was phenomenal. He was phenomenal.
Right.
Yesterday. Just a great guy. Check out that episode for sure. Keep going.
Yeah. So he kind of approached me and told me, hey, I found you in a magazine. And they were celebrating that you brought on all these agents to Coldwell Banker. And if you decided that Coldwell Banker didn't work for you and you wanted to do the same thing for yourself, I think this business model at eXp would work for you. He saw that I recruited 56 agents in my very first year of being a manager. Didn't even know what I was doing, but I knew that I knew how to attract people and get people and help people build their own business, right? And then the second year was 53. So by the time I had talked to him, just going into my third year, I was already at 22. And so when he mentioned this to me, I was like, oh, I don't have time for this. Nobody wants to hear anything. In Maryland, I didn't know anything about eXp at all. I was like, But I listened. I attended a live Zoom. I got some information. I ran some numbers and just, not at that point, but later on, it became a moment where I knew that I may not stay at the old brokerage and I may need to do something different. And I pulled out a notebook where I had took some notes from talking to Rich. And I was like, let me give this guy a chance. Let me talk to this guy and see what exactly he has going over at eXp. And then I had a hard decision to make because I went from employment to independent contractor. And that was rough and that was tough and that was hard. But I will tell you now, 11 months later, it was worth it. It was so worth it. I'm 11 months and 1 day in and affiliated with eXp, and it was worth it. Everything that he told me was the truth. And I definitely say he told the truth.
Amazing. It's so love that. And I'll just want to kind of encapsulate a little bit of what you said there that kind of really stuck out. So you actually underwrote it, right? You actually looked at the numbers and digested it. B, you actually heard him out, right? You actually spent a little bit of time going through the model, going through what it is. And then of course you digested that, right? It took you a little while to kind of see what it was and get a feel for that. And then a moment came up. I don't know what that moment was, and if you want to share that, but something happened where, okay, now I want to take a more serious look, right, at this thing. So, do you want to share what happened there, or what was the moment that kind of pushed you over the edge to say, now I really want to take a peek at this?
I'll say I did not agree with what upper management had in store for me. They had one plan for me, and I had another plan, and we couldn't meet in the middle. That's probably exactly what happened, and could probably in one sentence frame it out. We just didn't agree on the vision that I saw for an office that I was running, or for my broker's license, or for where we wanted to go. Myself and the agents who were in that office, we wanted to go, but we were stopped. And that didn't work well with me at all.
Yeah, and I find that when we're, one of the things at eXp, which I love about eXp, and I'm a commercial broker here in Sacramento, right? Love eXp. Move my brokerage business over to there, even though I am a broker myself. That if you're not the owner or a part owner, or you have actually like stock, then, and when you feel like the corporation is not putting their agents first per se, right? They have different needs, different challenges, right? Such as a lot of overhead and a lot of middle management and a lot of big lease payments, and individual franchises even have their individual E&O insurance, where when you can consolidate and build a model with eXp where it's worldwide, but then on a national brokerage level in the United States, and cut out the E&O insurance and cut out a lot of the overhead, a lot of that savings can be fueled back into the agent owners versus having to make tough decisions. And again, I don't even know the details of those other things. I just know the challenges that I had too with mine. And so I appreciate you sharing that, and then having the courage to say, okay, something new, something different.